going live. All right, and then we're going to just start in a comfortable seated position.
You just gotta pin this.
Keep your strap nearby. If you don't have a strap, I think I told you can always use a just a belt or a tie or a some bathrobe belt or something like that. That all works. It's nice to have the buckle because I showed you guys that loop thing last week, so we're gonna do that again this week. So let's just come into our comfortable seated position. Sit up nice and tall. Just take your hands onto your legs, palms down. Take your shoulders up to your ears, float them back and down. So even when we start to do that, we start to feel the spine grow a little bit longer. We want to root down through the sit bones and rise up through the crown of our head. And then close your eyes. And just start to notice how you feel. Just explore your internal landscape. How are you feeling internally? Any sensations, maybe any constriction, any particular thing that's floating around in your head right now? Just kind of take notice of it without judgment. We'll start to deepen our breath. So we'll just take a big breath in through the nose and a big breath out through the nose. Let's do it again. Breath in. So as you watch the breath come in, notice how it feels as it passes over the vocal cords and your belly and your chest start to expand. And then watch it again as it travels back up and out through the nostrils. Just watch your breath for just a few more moments, a few more cycles. Relax your jaw. Soften your temples. Keep the shoulders floating back and down so the chest is expanding and opening. And we'll take our hands behind our ears. They're just slightly cupped. And as you inhale, breathe here. And as you exhale, bring your palms together so your thumbs come to your third eye, right between your eyebrows. Inhale here. And exhale, take your thumbs to your heart center. And let's do that again. Hands behind your ears, breath in. Exhale, quiet the mind. Collect your thoughts. Inhale. Exhale, offer your thoughts to your heart. And then one more time. Inhale, hands behind your ears. Exhale, quiet the mind. Inhale here. And exhale again, offer your thoughts to your heart. We're taking all that chatter from our head and we're offering it to our heart. And then just bow your head towards your heart, surrendering our mind to the heart space. And then just bring your hands back down onto your laps, palms up this time, and sit up nice and tall. And you can open your eyes here. And then we're just gonna take a seated twist. So we're gonna take the right hand behind and take your left hand onto your right knee. So just gentle twist right here. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. And then exhale, gently twist through the pit of the belly. So we're lengthening on the inhale and exhale, twist. And then one more time. Inhale, grow your spine nice and long. Crown of the head rises toward the sky. And then as we exhale, just twist through the spine. Carefully unwind and come back to center. We'll do that the other side. Now we're going to take the left hand behind, right hand, so just come over to your left thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, grow your spine nice and long. Exhale, twist. And one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist, and maybe you can look over your back shoulder. And then unwind and come on back to center. So let's get our strap. You can fold it in half if you have a long strap. We're going to take the strap out in front. So our shoulders and wrists are in line with each other. And then we're going to take that strap overhead so our wrists are over our shoulders now. Take your low belly up towards your chin. So again, we're keeping the spine long, shoulder blades float down, and then pull to the right and pull to the left. And then, yeah, maybe go a little bit farther. So you can take the strap over to the left, and then up and over, just taking the spine into a really gentle lateral flexion. Just go at your own pace, coming up and over and up and over. And then just do what else feels good. It feels good to kind of stretch a little bit more. Whatever feels good in your shoulders. And then we'll bring the strap in front. We're going to add the rotation. So we're going to bring it up and back. And up and back. And just go as slow as you need to go here. Maybe make the strap a little longer if it's hard to get that extension across the back. Just notice how you feel here. How are your shoulders feeling? And you can add the figure 8. So then you can take the right hand behind and the left hand in front. And then go in the opposite direction. And then just go ahead and bring your strap back and kind of just put it over to the side. So let's take our arms out to the sides, nice and long. We're still sitting up tall, and we'll cross the right elbow under the left, and then take a hold of your shoulders. Keep the elbows lifted. Crawl your fingers in towards your spine. You can stay right here, or maybe bring the backs of your hands together. Some of you might be able to bring your palms together. We're going to lift the elbows up and forward. So feel again that expansion across the shoulders. And just sit up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, maybe press the elbows out in front and lift. Hold it here. One more breath. And then unwind. Let's take the arms down. Take a breath. Arms are going to come back out. Now we'll take the left under the right. And then take a hold of your shoulders. Crawl the fingers in toward the spine. That helps get a little bit more openness in the back. Keep the elbows lifted. Stay here. Or maybe bring your palms together. Don't worry so much about how close the hands get. Really, this is about opening up through the chest. So we're just pressing up and forward. And then unwind. We can take a couple shoulder shrugs up, back and down. And down. And then make your way onto your hands and knees. I'm going to turn this way. If you need to, you can pad your knees with a blanket or towel, whatever you guys have available. And we're going to stack our hands underneath our shoulders. And our knees are underneath our hips. Spread your fingers wide, push the floor away from you, and then press your shins into your mat. Then as we exhale, we'll take our tailbone toward the knees, push the floor away, and tuck your chin into your chest. So you're looking up at your belly button for cat pose. Inhale, take your tailbone toward the ceiling. The belly's going to gently drop toward the mat, broaden across your collarbones, and you can gaze down at your mat or maybe look up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. So we're creating that broadness extension across the collarbones. Exhale back to cat pose. Inhale, come back to cow. And then one more time. Exhale, cat. And inhale, come on back to cow pose. And then come to neutral spine. Take your knees wide. Bring your toes together. And then sit back onto your heels. Now, if that's challenging, you can always take a blanket and place it between your calves and your legs, the backs of your legs, and sit back into child's pose. Tailbone reaches toward the heels, and extend your arms out in front of you. So this is an active child's pose. So you're pressing your hands away from your knees, as if you're trying to rip your mat in two. Keep breathing. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the left. And your hips will probably move over to the right a little bit. That's okay. And as soon as you get as far as you're going to go, take your right hand on top of your left. So getting that nice big stretch through the right side. And just breathe here. Walk your hands back to center and then over to the left. And again, just go where you can go, and then when you get as far as you're going to be able to go, take your left hand on top of your right. Just try to draw that left shoulder down, getting that stretch through the left side. Keep breathing. And then walk your hands back to center. Stay here for another breath or two. Really press into your mat. Get that nice stretch and length through the spine. Maybe you can press your tailbone a little closer to your heels. Forehead can rest on your mat. Shoulders away from your ears. And then slide your hands back under your shoulders. Come onto all fours. Have a seat. And we're going to lower onto our backs. Keep your strap nearby. In fact, before we all lay down, if you have a strap with a buckle, we're going to make a loop in the strap. So it'll look like this. And it's kind of like a leash, you know, a dog's leash. So it's a pretty, we'll know where it needs to be as soon as we start using it. It's like kind of like this, okay? Maybe this, like the length, like if you put your wrists in front of your shoulders and you had your thumbs hooked into it, maybe that length. We'll know a little bit more when we lie down. If you don't have a buckle, it's fine. There's other things we can do. So let's lie down onto our backs. Just keep the strap nearby. We're not going to use it right now. Start with your feet on the floor. Knees are bent. We're going to just take our hands onto our hips and adjust the tailbones. We're just going to take the tailbone toward the heels to get that length through the spine. And then extend the legs out so they're straight. All right, so we're going to keep the left leg extended. We're going to hug the right knee up and clasp around the shin of the right knee for just right now. Press through that left foot. Make sure that the inner thigh is pressing in toward the floor. So we don't want the left foot splaying out to the left. We want the toes pointing straight up. And we're going to take our left hand onto our right knee and take the knee over into a twist. And the right arm can come out like a half T. Inhale. That's okay. Now if the left toe is splayed over a little bit, that's fine. We're going to press that left foot into an imaginary wall. If you do have a wall nearby, and those of you who know how to use a wall, go ahead and get near your wall. We're going to press that left foot away, and we're going to deepen our twist on the exhale twist. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, press through that left heel. Exhale, twist. And one more time. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, nice deep twist here. And we'll bring that knee up and just float that foot to the edge of your mat. And then we'll do the other side. Left knee's gonna come up, hug it in, press through that right heel. Take your right hand onto your left knee, guide it over to the right. The left arm's gonna extend out. Inhale, press your left foot away. Exhale, take that left knee closer to the floor. Sorry, it was right foot, right? Inhale, press your right foot away. Exhale, twist. One more time, press, lengthen on the inhale. Exhale, go deep into your twist. And just really bringing out the spine, giving this nice twist through the spine. Bring the knee up and just let that foot glide to the wall. Now we'll go with our breath. One breath, one movement. So we're gonna inhale the right knee up, exhale and do a twist. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, float your foot to the floor. Inhale, left knee's gonna come up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring your knee up. Exhale, release the foot. And one more time. Inhale, right knee up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, bring your knee up. Release, let that foot glide with control to the floor. Inhale, left knee comes up. Exhale, nice big twist here. Bring it up. And then just let that foot glide and place it down. Just stay here for a breath. Now take the right knee back up, clasp around the shin, extend that left leg out. Again, keep the toes pointing straight up. And then we're going to take our forehead toward our knee. Pressing that left foot away, making sure that left thigh rotates in, hugging the knee toward the forehead. If that doesn't work for your shoulders or your neck, keep your head down. And then we'll release. Other side. Exhale, left knee's going to come up, hug the knee in, maybe take your forehead to your knee. Again, if it bothers your neck, keep your neck down. And sometimes it's nice to have a blanket under your head if you've got some issues with your neck. And then we're going to release. And we're going to go with our breath. Exhale, right knee up. Inhale, release. Exhale, left knee up. Inhale, release. Exhale, right knee comes up. Inhale and release. And one more time. Exhale, left knee comes up. And then release and just stay here. Okay, now we're going to get our strap. And some of you who were here last week, this was new. My teacher, Rachel, who I study with, has been doing this and I really love it. So there's some options. We're going to start. So I'm going to show you the two options. So we're going to start taking, if you've got the loop, it's going to be right over your heel. And then you want it short enough that you can just hang on to it. I move the buckle out of my way. And then you want so right now I'm doing my left leg. I'm just demonstrating. We'll do this together in a minute. I want it so I can pull my left shoulder down so this arm is straight. So it's kind of nice. I might need a little bit shorter here. If you don't have a buckle, you can do it just like we always do. Just take your strap so you're going to hold on to both ends of the strap like that. We're still going to pull the strap down. So whatever works for you. There's always all kinds of things we can do here. But let's start with since I got my left leg up, we'll start with the left. No, let's start with the right. This is easier for me to remember. Okay, so we're going to start with the right leg up. And we're going to have if you've got the loop, your right hand in your strap. That left leg is pushing away just like it was before. The toes are pointing up. We're taking an internal rotation. If we've got the loop, we're pulling that right shoulder down. If you're holding on to both ends of your strap, you're pulling both shoulders down. And then we're pushing that right thigh bone away from our head. And you can just have your left hand onto your hip. And we're pulling down on the strap and pressing into the strap with the heel. So just really feeling the stretch through the hamstrings, flex through the foot. I think I've said this before. If you have active back pain, if there's only one thing you can do, it's this pose on each leg. So one more breath here. And then we're going to switch sides. So remove the strap. We're going to take it over to the left, just above the heel. Again, if you're using both ends of the strap, both arms are up and elbows are straight, pulling down. If you've got the loop, we're pulling down with the left foot. You're going to flex your foot. So we're flexing our toes toward our chin. That right leg is active, right? We're imagining that that right foot is in a wall. Those of you who are when we work in a studio or a yoga studio, we do this at the wall, and we usually have our leg at the wall. So imagine that the foot's there. So there's a lot of activity in that leg. Pull down your left shoulder, relax through the foot, push into the strap as you pull into the strap. And that left thigh bone presses away from your head. All right, now we're going to switch back to the right leg. So this time we're going to keep the right ankle over the right hip, but we're going to take a hold of the strap with our left hand, or you can use both hands. We're going to take both the strap in our left hand. We're pulling down. We're going to take our right hand, place it into the right hip crease, and push the right hip away. So we're pulling down the right heel, and then we're pushing the right heel into the strap. And then pressing away, creating a little bit more traction. The left leg is extended and active. And just come back to your breath. So try to push that right leg away as best as you can, and even take your low belly up towards your chin. And then we're going to switch sides. So let's take it over to the left foot. The left heel is going to stay over the hip. You can either hold on to your strap with both hands, or if you've got your loop, you can take your right hand into your strap this time. Left hand's going to come into your left hip crease. Push that leg away, low belly towards your chin. So just a little bit different from the series we've always done. Adding on this is an add-on. We haven't done this one before. It's kind of nice to open up the hips a little bit more. This is all part of the hip series. All right, let's release. Now we're going to put it back on the right foot. So lots of moving around here. We're going to take the strap into our left hand. If you're using both hands, we're going to take both ends of the strap into our left hand. Now we're going to take the right heel over in line with our left shoulder. So we're just crossing the leg slightly across our body. Take that left thumb, or actually your right thumb, into your right hip crease. We're going to push the hip away. Just like we did, but now we've got a little bit of extension across the body here. So we're going to get a little bit more into the IT and the abductors. Push that right hip away. Low belly up toward your chin. And then check in with your left leg. Make sure that's active. The inner thighs rolling toward the floor. The toes are pointing straight up. And then bring that leg up and we'll switch. Both ends of the strap into your right hand, or take a hold of your loop. And we're going to take the leg across so the left heel's in line with our right shoulder. And then the left hand's going to come in that left hip crease. We're going to push the hip away. Low belly toward your chin. Lock that right shoulder down. What's going on with your right leg? Check in there. Is your leg active? Make sure you're pressing through the right heel as you press that left thigh away with your left hand. So lots of sensation in this pose, I'm sure you're feeling. Deep breaths. And then bring the leg up. Switch sides again. Both ends of the strap into your left hand or your loop. Left hand into your loop. Now we're going to take the right leg over even farther. Just go where you can go with it. A lot more activity. We're going to get into the into the glutes, the buttocks. And the right arm can just come out and your palm can face down on your floor. So you're going to push into that right hand as you take that leg over a little bit deeper. So a lot more activity in this leg. You're going to feel this in the IT band. Just try to keep the right shoulder down as you press into your hand. And then bring your leg up and switch sides. Extend the right leg straight out. Take a hold of your loop with one hand or take both ends of your strap into your right hand. The loop is in your right hand or both ends strap into your right hand. Left arm's going to extend out, palm down, and we're going to take that left leg over to the left. And again, just go where you can go. That left buttocks is going to pop up a lot. And don't worry so much about the right leg, but we are extending through. But just hold on to the strap into your hand and notice what's going on with the left leg. One more breath. And then go ahead and bring your leg up. Remove the strap for a sec. Just put it over to the side and take your leg straight. And notice how it feels in the hips right now. We've got a lot more to do in this hip series. Just let that out process for a couple breaths. All right, so now let's take a block or a blanket if you have one, and we're going to put it on the outside of our right hip. And we're going to take our strap and take it around the right foot again, holding onto your loop or holding on with both. Actually, both ends of the strap would be in your right hand, or you're holding onto your loop with your right hand. All right, so we're going to keep our left hand onto our left hip, and then carefully lower your right leg out to the right. Left hip stays down. Draw your right toes towards your ear. Just go where you can. I need to move over. Okay. So just let the outer edge of your right foot come parallel to the floor. So it's nice to have that block or blanket underneath your right hip to support the leg. And we're going this time into the inner thigh, into the adductors. Bring your leg up, switch sides, move the block or blanket over to the other side, the outside of your left hip. Take a hold of your strap, right leg extends out. We're going to carefully lower the left leg out to the left. Right hand on your right hip bone. Try to keep that hip down. And just go where you can. And notice, my right leg tends to lower a little closer to the floor than my left. So you might notice that there's a difference in your hip opening. I just have a tighter left hip. One more breath. And then bring your leg up. Remove your strap. Hug your knees into your chest. Just do what feels good here. For now, we're just gonna move the legs around, get the blood flowing. And then place your feet down on the floor so your knees are pointing up to the ceiling. We're gonna slide the right foot over to the right, and the right knee drops in towards your left foot. So we're getting this internal rotation of the right leg. If it's okay with your hip, you can take your left foot onto your right thigh. If not, just keep your left foot on the floor. Then we're going to do our check-in. So we're going to look up. We want to make sure our right knee is in line with our right shoulder and lower back down. So we're getting this nice long line from the right quadricep all the way up through the psoas, and then extend your right arm overhead. Take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand. And just gently draw that arm up. So even longer, nice big long stretch through the right side. You can always drag your left heel down your right thigh to get a little more length here. And breathe. So if this bothers your knee at all, don't put that pressure on your leg. You can always put a block or a blanket underneath your right knee as well. And then let's come out of that, both feet on the floor. Hands can come back down by your side. Slide the left foot over and let that left knee drop in towards your right foot. If it's okay, take your right foot onto your left thigh. If that's too intense, just keep your foot on the floor. And then we check in our alignment. Left knee in line, we look up, left knee in line with our left shoulder, and lower back down. How does that feel? Is it okay? If you're feeling any pain, make sure you take your foot off your leg or put a block or a blanket underneath your knee. If it feels okay, left arm extends up. And then maybe take a hold of your left wrist with your right hand and gently draw that arm up. Take your little belly towards your chin and even drag your right heel down your thigh. You can come back to your breath. And it's time to just check in with the breath. And then uncross, feet come back on the floor. Square off your hips if they moved off center a little bit. And we're going to do the external rotation. So the right knee is going to drop over to the right, and we're going to slide that right foot behind your left heel. So this is your external rotation of your right hip. You can stay right here with your left foot. Maybe take it in front of your right shin and let that knee drop out. Check in here, see how that feels. Or you can take your left foot onto your right thigh and let that left knee drop out. Just kind of notice what feels better on your hips. Arms can stay by your sides or maybe reach up and overhead. Or it might feel good to hold on to your opposite elbows. The low belly draws up towards your chin. And don't forget to breathe. And just notice what's going on. How does this feel? How does this external rotation feel compared to the internal rotation? And then go ahead and uncross. Bring your feet back on the floor, knees up. We'll do the other side. So the left knee is going to drop over to the left. Slide your left foot over behind your right heel. That keeps our hips and shoulders in alignment. And then figure out where you're going to go from here. Right foot can just stay where it is. Maybe slide that right heel in front of your left shin. Just in a typical cross-legged position. Or you can take that left foot onto your right thigh and let that right knee drop out for fire log, double pigeon, in a supine position. Arms can come overhead. Maybe hold on to your opposite elbows. Whatever feels good with the shoulders. Take a few more breaths. And then uncross. And take your legs out to the edge of your mat. And again, notice how all this feels, right? Lots of opening in the hips. And when you're ready, make your way over to one side. And come onto your hands and knees. So if you have a strap with a loop, you don't have to do this, but if you do have the strap with the loop, take the strap and just put it, it should be, if it was about where your wrists were, when we checked earlier, it should be right in line, so when you put it right over your elbows like this, okay? Then we're gonna come into downward facing dog. Spread your fingers wide, knees are on the floor right now, but then we're gonna lift the knees up and come into down dog. So the strap might be a little bit in your way. We're just gonna do this for a couple breaths. And then really pull your arms into the strap. If you don't have a strap, don't worry about it, just come into down dog. Keep your heels up for right now. Bend your knees, wiggle your chest to your thighs. And then straighten your legs, and then press your heels as close to the floor. It's okay if they don't touch the floor. You can even press through one heel and bend through the left knee. And then press the other heel and bend through the opposite knee. As being unspecific and then specific. So pedal your feet a couple times. Just kind of notice how that feels if you have the strap. And then go ahead, come on back onto your hands and knees. Just sit back on your heels, take the strap off if it's there. We're just gonna put it to the side. Come back onto your hands and knees in tabletop position. We're gonna turn our toes under, lift back into down dog. So now notice this without the strap if you had it there. Just maybe engage those triceps a little bit more like the strap is there. Look towards your knees. Lift up and out of your armpits as you take your chest a little closer to your thighs. And then again, press through your right heel, then the left knee, and switch. And as you press through one, or you bend one knee, press into that hand. So just like get a little bit more length as you extend through the hands and even the knees. So you're just pedaling and pressing and getting a little bit length in the thighs. Now from here, shift forward to plank pose. So options, you can always put your knees down. You're still gonna get the benefit of a little bit of core work here. You're still gonna get the benefit. We're gonna push into the mat with our hands. Take the shoulders away from our ears. If your knees are off the mat, your tailbone stays low, draw your navel up towards your spine. Breathe here. And then lift your hips high back into down dog. Catch your breath. And then carefully come forward to plank again. Shoulders are going to stack over your wrists. Push the floor away from you. Don't be afraid to put your knees down. If you haven't done plank in a while, it might be a little challenging to keep your knees off the floor. If your knees are off the floor, tailbone stays low, so you feel your core engaging. And then lift back up to down dog. Hips come high, chest presses towards your thighs. Look at your knees. Now look at your hands and walk your feet towards your hands, coming into a forward bend. Take your hands on your hips and come all the way up. Hands come by your sides, standing in Tadasana. So feet are hip distance, shoulders float back and down, low belly comes up towards your chin. Crown of the head rises toward the sky. And we breathe. So from here, if you have blocks, let's get a block handy. And then we're going to take our feet wide. Take your left toes so they're going to point toward that top edge of your mat. The right toes are going to point toward, kind of toward that top edge of the top corner of your mat. We want the front heel to intersect the back arch, so our feet are on the same plane. And then put the block behind your left foot. Arms are going to extend out, shoulders float back and down. And start to reach out over your front foot. And let's take this right now, let's take our right hand onto our hip and take your left hand onto your block. We're going to push into that block, using your hand on your hip and draw that elbow, rotate that shoulder toward the back wall. So starting to really open up the chest, pushing into your block. And there's some length here, getting that twist, that rotation. You can even take your right hand on your waist and pull that right hip back a little bit more. Then we take the left hip toward our back heel. And then if it feels okay, you can extend the left arm up. The gaze can be straight across the room. Maybe if it feels better, you just put your Gaze down towards your left foot. Or if you want to, you can take your gaze up to the right thumb. Push into your block. So we don't want to round down here. We really want to get some activity in this left side body. So we're pushing into the block and then reaching up. I'm going to keep this top shoulder stacked over the bottom. So imagine that there's a wall behind you and you're taking that right shoulder into that wall. And then slowly come all the way up. We'll take our block and we'll move our feet to the other direction. So we'll take the block behind the right foot, the right toes are now going to point up toward the top edge of your mat. The left toes point up toward that top corner. And your front heel intersects your back arch. That keeps our hips in alignment. But our hips and shoulders stay square to this long edge of our mat. Arms extend out. We're going to reach out over the front toes. Take our hand under our block. Right now we'll keep the left hand on the hip. Stack that left shoulder over the right. So imagine that wall is behind you and we're taking that left shoulder into that wall. Push into your block and lift. So creating space here. And then maybe take your left arm up. And then find your gaze. What works best for your neck? Maybe down at your foot, straight across, or up at your thumb. Don't lose this. Even when you take your arm up, we want to keep that openness in the chest. So imagine that wall is behind you. Activate the legs. Draw the kneecaps up into the thighs. And then slowly come all the way up. Just turn your feet to face the front and step your feet together. All right. Move this up a little bit. So I'm going to face you. So let's get 2 blocks this time. Or pillows or whatever you can use. And if you don't have blocks, and some of you don't even need blocks, you might be able to reach the floor. So we're back into Tadasana, feet are hip distance. Let's take a step back with our right foot. And it's just a leg length, it's not too far. You can adjust as we get into the pose. Start with your hands on your hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together so your elbows start to reach toward the back wall. Almost as if we've got like the skinny edge of this block between my shoulders. So it's like you're squeezing your shoulders into that block. That opens up, broadens across the collarbones. And then we're going to look up, get a little bit of a back bend. And then as we exhale, hinge forward, keep the chest lifted, take your hands onto your blocks. So the blocks are going to be underneath your shoulders. And the blocks have 3 heights. So this is high, there's medium, and there's low. Probably somewhere between high and medium, most of us. We're going to draw our left hip back. Right now we're still long through the spine, right? Where the crown of the head is reaching forward. Draw the left hip back. Press the right hip forward. Inhale, take the crown of your head even more forward. So you're lengthening through your spine. Breathe. Now we can go a little bit further here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe you can start to take your belly towards your thigh. But you still want to keep the chest lifted. So if your hamstrings allow you, you can draw that hip back a little bit more. And then take your hands onto your hips. Come all the way up. Step up. Take a breath, and we'll take the left leg back. Square off the hips. So I'm going to press that left hip forward, pull the right hip back. Elbows draw back, squeeze into that imaginary block between your shoulder blades. So we're getting that chest expansion, and then look up a little bit of a back bend as well. Exhale, hinge forward, keep the shoulders squeezing toward each other, and take your hands down onto your blocks. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. So you're pressing the crown of your head toward the top of your mat, and the tailbone presses back. So we're getting a lot of length here. Your hamstrings are stretching. You're probably feeling that the most. Inhale, lengthen a little bit more, and then maybe you can take your belly a little closer to your thigh. Keep breathing. Keep drawing that right hip back, pressing the left hip forward. And then take your hands onto your hips. Come all the way up. And then step in. Just breathe here. So we can just move the blocks out of the way for right now. Just kind of put them in, don't let them go too far. We're gonna take our legs wide again, coming back into Prasarita legs. Then we're gonna turn the left toes toward the front of our mat. We're still intersecting that back arch with our front heel. This time we're gonna bend into the front knee. So we're gonna come into warrior two. So your legs may need to be a little bit farther apart this time. So scoot the foot up so that that front knee is right over the heel. Hands can start on your hips. Square your hips over, again, square to the front edge of our mat, shoulders float back and down, bend into your front knee. And then take your arms out. Warrior two. So the gaze in warrior two is over the front fingers. Draw the shoulder blades down and back, hug that left hip in. So we're getting some external rotation of this hip, and we want the front knee in front of our, kind of in front of that second or third toe. This leg is super strong. We're drawing the kneecap into the thigh. Breathe here. And then we're gonna reach in front and take our elbow onto our knee and start with our right hand onto our right hip. For extended side angle pose. So the elbow's on the knee, and this can even help you get that knee to track over your second or third toe. Stack the right shoulder over the left. You can stay right here, or maybe just extend your arm right out of your shoulder, straight up. Or maybe you can take your arm overhead for the full extension of the pose. So if it's overhead, we're reaching through the fingertips. The pinky finger spins toward the floor, the thumb toward the sky. So we're getting this nice long line from our back heel right up through the fingertips. So you're feeling a nice long stretch through here. This front knee stays tracking over that second or third toe, so don't let it drop in. Hold that pose. Breathe here. Really press into that back foot, that back heel. Even rotating into the outer edge of that back foot to keep that leg strong. And the gaze can come into the inside arm. Carefully, you can take your hand back on your hips, come all the way up. And we'll turn our feet to the other direction. So now the right toes are pointing out. Left toes slightly in. On the same plane, square off the hips. Bend deeply into your front knee. So again, you want the stance wide enough that this knee is going to track over your ankle. So you may have to adjust your foot a little bit. Square off your hips, arms extend out. Warrior two, gaze over your front fingers. Shoulders float back away from your ears. Really engage this back leg. Draw that kneecap into your thigh. In your front leg, you can even pull that front heel towards your back foot, really activating that leg as well. And then hug that hip in so the knee tracks over the second or third toe. Hold it here. We're going to reach out, take our elbow onto our knee. We'll start with our hand onto our waist. Use this elbow to open up that hip, the right hip. Stay here, maybe extend the left arm up, or reach the arm overhead. Turn the pinky finger toward the floor, thumb toward the sky. Stack that top shoulder, so we don't want to see this. We want that top shoulder over the bottom, pressing through that back heel. That back heel, that back foot is really pressing into the mat. Kneecaps can draw into your thigh. Reaching through the fingertips, right through that back heel. And then bring your hand back onto your hip. Come all the way up. And then turn your feet facing forward. And just take a breath here. All right, so we're gonna do that again. This time we're gonna use our block. So we're gonna now turn the toes back toward the right. We're gonna take the block in front of our left foot. Arms extend out, warrior two. This time when we reach out, we're gonna take our hand onto our block. The right hand can stay onto the hip. We're gonna press into that block, stack the right shoulder over the left. And then we're gonna take the arm, so we'll go full extension this time. Really reaching. Now some of you can take your block a little bit lower, right? So play around with that, see where you can go. Maybe you can take it middle. Some of you can go all the way down to the lower side. So but notice where you're gonna go with it. You don't wanna collapse here either. You still wanna have this extension here. And then we're reaching through the fingertips. The pinky turns toward the floor, thumb toward the sky. Right shoulder stacks over the left. Push into your block, press into that right heel. Low belly draws up towards your chin. Gaze could be in the inside of your arm. And then carefully come all the way up. Bring your block with you. Turn your feet to the other side. And again, find the height of your block. We're going to come into warrior two. Bend the front knee. Breathe in. Reach out. We're going to take our hand onto our block. And we can start with a hand on our hip to get in position here. And again, maybe you can take your block a little bit lower. Just depends on your practice. If you've been doing this for a while and this is comfortable, that's fine. Some of you might need it a little bit higher. We'll take this left arm up and then overhead, pinky finger toward the floor, thumb toward the sky. Stack that top shoulder over the bottom. We're pressing through that back heel, reaching through the fingertips. Belly draws up towards your chin. And breathe. So big stretch right through the side body. Don't come up, I'm just gonna check on you. Keep going, keep breathing. Nice, good. Don't hold your breath. This is a pose where it's easy to hold the breath, so you wanna make sure that you're exhaling here. Good. And then slowly, carefully, come all the way up. And then just come back to Tadasana. Take a breath here. And then let's take our blocks again in front of our feet. And we'll step back with our right foot. Hands on our hips. Draw that left hip back, press your right hip forward. Inhale, lengthen. And as we exhale, we're going to come forward just like we did. Hands will come down onto our blocks. So our blocks are right underneath our shoulders. The blocks are in line with our left foot. Pull that left hip back. Press the right hip forward. Now we're going to take the block and our right hand over in line with our left foot. Take your left hand onto your hip and we're going to start to stack the left shoulder over the right. Draw that left hip back. So stay here. You might need to pick up your right foot, move it over a little bit more. We're going deep into this twist, twisted triangle. If you want, you can extend your left arm up. Pull that left hip back. Press your right hip forward. And the gaze can just be straight across. Just make it easy or down at your foot. Try to get this left shoulder over the right. If that's uncomfortable with your arm, keep your hand on your hip, that's fine. One more breath, lots of twisting today. Unwind, bring your hands down, take your hands onto your hips. Come up, step your feet together. Take a breath, and we'll switch sides. So the left foot will come back, right foot forward. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, hinge forward. Hands are going to come onto your blocks. And then we'll take that left hand right over to the right foot. and our block, and then we're gonna take our right hand onto our hip. Start to stack your right shoulder over the left. So we're adding this twist. Maybe you need to pick your left foot up, move it over a little bit more. Stay right here. Draw that right hip back a little bit more, or maybe extend your arm up. And breathe. And again, just keep the gaze easy right now. Just look straight across or maybe down at your foot. And then bring your hands back onto your hips. Come all the way up. Step your feet together. Take a breath. All right, so let's make our way. I'm gonna turn this way. We're gonna make our way into down dog. So inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, take an easy, gentle swan dive forward. Take your hands in front of your feet. Step back into down dog. And stretch that all out. Bend your knees, maybe pedal your feet, wiggle your hips a little bit. Look at your knees. And then come onto your hands and knees. So I'm going to turn this way. Let's take our right foot forward. And then bring your hands up onto your right knee. I'm trying to do this so I can face this way and still be on my mat. Okay. So we want to take our tailbone close to that front heel. So we're starting to feel the stretch here. Inhale, press into your leg and get some length here. And then exhale, take your tailbone towards your heel. All right. Then we're going to take our right hand onto our hip and take the left hand on the outside of the leg. We're going to inhale, lengthen, and we're going to add a twist here. Inhale, exhale, twist. One more breath like this. Now you can stay here, or maybe you can take this deeper and bring your elbow to the outside of your knee, bring your palms together, and the thumbs would come towards your heart center. So inhale, we still lengthen through the spine as we inhale, and as we exhale, twist. One more breath, inhale, exhale, and twist. And then unwind, bring your hands down, come onto your hands and knees. All right, let's switch sides. Now we'll take the left foot forward, bring your hands up onto your legs. The knee is right over your ankle, and we're taking our tailbone toward our heel. All right, then we're going to take our left hand onto our hip, right hand on the thigh. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. And we're going to take this elbow, if you want to go deeper, the right elbow to the outside of the knee. Palms will come together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take your sternum toward your thumbs. One more breath, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then unwind. Take your hands down, come onto your hands and knees. And let's do that again. We're going to go on the other side. Come back up. Hands on our thigh. We're going to take our tailbone toward the front heel. Coming back into this lunge. So you can go where you need to go here. Maybe keep your hands on your waist, take a twist. Or if you want to, you can come back into the deeper twist here, palms together, elbow on the outside of your knee. And then maybe you can turn your back toes under and lift your leg off the floor. So super strong back leg, the left leg, the kneecap's drawing into the thigh. You're pressing through your back heel. And you're adding this deep twist. So don't be afraid to keep the knee down. Make sure you're breathing. And then slowly unwind. Come back onto your hands and knees. We'll switch sides. Left foot's gonna come forward. We come into our lunge. Add the twist. Maybe take the elbow to the outside of the knee, palms together. Stay right here. Or you can turn the back toes under, lift that leg. Strong back leg. Kneecaps drawing into the thigh. Don't forget to breathe. And then unwind and come on back to center. Hands and knees, take your knees wide, take your toes together, come to child's pose. Tailbone toward the heels, extend the arms out. Feel that big stretch through the side body. And then come and have a seat. So we're going to take our legs extended out and well, like you said, well, just one blanket. All right, we're going to, if you want to, you can sit on a blanket a little bit. That kind of gives you a little bit more length in your spine. Extend the legs out, find your strap. We're going to take the left foot into our inner thigh. Then we're going to take our strap. If you still have the loop in it, that's fine. We're going to take it around the right foot. And then we're just going to keep it here so it's handy. You just want to have it around the foot so it's handy. Either way, with or without the strap, it would look like this without the loop. Okay, now we're going to just square our shoulders over our left knee. So we're lining up this right shoulder with the right leg. Then we're going to lower down, so lower this right shoulder toward the right leg. This is where you can take a hold of your strap with your right hand, stacking this left shoulder over the right. Okay, so now big deep stretch right here. Couple things we can do with our strap. You can hold the strap here. Maybe you can take this top hand over and find the strap there. And maybe lower yourself a little closer to your thigh. Stacking the left shoulder over the right. Flex through that right foot and breathe. So really big stretch through the left side. And so just hold on to the strap here. Some of you might be able to reach your foot. Let's go where you can go. Oh, this should feel good. And then slowly come all the way up. And we'll switch sides. So the right leg will come out, the left foot comes, nope, the left foot comes out, the right foot comes in. And we'll take the strap, just keep it nearby, just wrap it around the foot and keep it handy in case you want to use it. We're going to square our shoulders over our right knee. So that this gets this left shoulder in line with our left leg. That's what we're going for. So we're going to lower the shoulder toward the leg. Then you can take a hold of your strap with your left hand. We'll try to lower down a little bit more. The right hand can stay on your hip. Or maybe you can take the arm up. Some of you might be able to take a hold of the strap with that hand. Or it can look like this. You can just reach over with your hand. Or take the strap and pull on your strap as your left shoulder presses toward your thigh. So the heart is pressing up toward the sky, right? We're trying to keep that right shoulder over the left. It's really getting right into this, this side body. That's your QL, your quadratus laborum, that you're feeling. It's a nice deep stretch there. And then slowly come all the way up. Sit up nice and tall. Take your legs out in front. And let's lower onto our backs. So bring your knees over your hips And then cross the right knee over the left. So the knees are right on top of each other, and hug your knees in towards your chest. If you can, maybe you can hold on to your ankles and draw the knees in a little bit more. So Gomukhasana legs. Draw the knees in. Just notice how that feels in the hips. And then uncross, and we'll cross the other side. Left knee will come over the right, hug the knees in, take a hold of your ankles with your knees, draw the knees in. And again, if you can't find your ankles, maybe just take a hold right at the knees, and we're just kind of hugging them in, breathing here. And then uncross. Keep the knees here. Now we're going to take the right ankle over the left thigh. If it feels better, keep your left foot on the floor. Or if your leg is lifted, we can clasp behind the thigh and draw the left knee toward our chin. Press the right leg away. Keep your feet flexed. Maybe even take your legs slightly over to the left to deepen the stretch. You're going to feel that right in your piriformis, right in the glutes. And then bring your knees up, uncross. We're going to switch sides. So the left ankle is going to come over the right knee. Maybe your right foot stays down on the floor. Or if you're lifting your leg, you're going to clasp behind your right thigh. You can always use a strap here too, if it's a little challenging to get that hold of your leg. Draw your knee in. Maybe use that left elbow to press that leg away. And then even take your legs over to the right slightly. And then go ahead and uncross there. Place your feet back down onto the floor. Keep your knees bent. Walk your heels in a little bit closer to your hips. So we're going to do one back bend. We're going to do bridge before we go into Shavasana. And we're going to do it a couple times. So I like to do it like this. You can watch me first if you want. With my strap, I take the strap right underneath my body. So it's kind of right at the base of my buttocks and the top of my legs. And then take a hold of the strap so my palms are facing up toward the ceiling. Walk my heels in a little bit more, lift my hips up. Then I can really scoop my shoulders underneath my chest, and I've got a hold of my strap, and that just helps me open up my chest a little bit more. Low belly draws up towards your chin. So that's option one. Come on down if you did that with me. We're going to do it a couple times. So option one is the strap. Option two, some of you like to interlace your fingers, clasp your hands underneath your hips. That's always an option. Or option three, just keep your hands on the floor. Let's walk the heels in, press down through the heels, lift the hips up, scoot the shoulders underneath. So you pick up your right shoulder, walk it underneath your chest. Pick up your left shoulder, walk it underneath your chest. Take your low belly towards your chin. Quadriceps draw up toward the hips. And breathe. And then carefully lower down, one vertebra at a time. Bring the tailbone down last. Take a breath here. We're going to do it one more time. So whatever feels good for you. Walk your heels in. Some of you can even maybe take a hold of your ankles. We're going to walk the heels in, lift the hips up. Maybe take a hold of your strap, interlace your fingers. Whatever we do, we want to make sure we scoot the shoulders underneath the chest. So getting that expansion in the chest. Then the belly button draws up toward our chin. And breathe. And then slowly lower all the way down, one vertebra at a time. And just take your feet wide to the edge of your mat and take your knees over to the right. Bring them up and over to the left. So just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Bring your knees up. Bring them together. And then we're going to pick up our knees and we're just going to take them over to the right. And then take your arms out in front of your shoulders. So the right arm's going to extend out and then the left arm is going to come on top of your right. So the palms are touching, your left hand's on top of your right, and your knees are at about a 45-degree angle, as best as you can have them. And then we're going to inhale the left arm all the way up and over, and then bring it up and back. Just go flow through that a couple times. Inhale, reach up, keep the arm over, inhale, bring it, and back. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, nice big reach and over. And then bring the arm up and palms come together. And then come back onto your back. Square off your hips. We'll take the knees over to the left. Knees stack on top of each other. The left arm extends out. Right palm comes onto the left. We're going to inhale, reach nice and long and open up. Exhale. Inhale, reach, just flow through. This should feel really good. Just a nice flowing twist. And one more time, inhale, reach up. And bring it back. And then come all the way over again onto your back. Square off your hips. Hug your knees up. Take your forehead to your knees. Give yourself a big hug, a big squeeze here. And then we'll find Shavasana. So you can take your legs to the edge of your mat. Palms can come out, face up. If you do have active back pain, it's nice to roll up a blanket and place it underneath your knees. Or you can bend your knees and knock your knees together if there's any pressure on your low back. If you've got a couch nearby, scoot up toward the couch and place your legs on the couch. Yeah, like that. And then just scan your body. Just checking to see if there's anything you're still holding on to. If you're clenching your jaw. And send your breath there and release it. Relax your fingers, relax your toes. And then let your entire body melt into the earth beneath you. And I'll bring you back in a few minutes, so make sure you take this time to just let everything settle in. Just let everything go here. can begin to awaken your body. Start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. Reach your arms overhead, get a big stretch. And when you're ready, make your way over to one side. And at your own pace, come up to a comfortable seated position. And you can just sit here with your eyes closed and just notice how you feel. Just take this time to notice how you feel since you got on your mat earlier this morning. If you're a little bit more open, we did a lot of twists, we did a lot of hip work. Just kind of notice how you feel and even pay attention a little bit later in the day. Taking notice about how your back feels, or even just how you feel mentally. Let's take our hands to our heart center. Take this time to thank yourself for getting on your mat this morning and doing all these amazing things, not just for your body, but for your mind and your spirit as well. We'll thank our friends who joined us from all over today, just mentally sending out a thank you for sharing their energy with us this morning. And I thank you so much for letting me guide you in your practice. This is so much fun to be here. May we have peace within ourselves so that we may spread peace and love into the world. Namaste. And you can unmute yourselves if you want. Let's see, I don't think I can do it from this one.
Yeah, you have to do it from the whole one.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.
That was great.
Hi.
Hi, Karen.
Heather, is Heather still here? Is that my Heather? Or is it my niece or my cousin? I mean,
Yeah, it's me.
oh, it is. Why were you blocked? Why did you have your picture off?
I don't know.
I like to see you. She's from Vermont. She's in Vermont. She's my baby girl. I love her.
Ah,
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. And JS, I said, JS, you always are. Tell me who you are. I don't know who you are. I sent you. You could just send me a chat. JS is here every week, but it's always a no picture, and I don't know who that is. But I love seeing everybody. I'll be here next week, and maybe sometime this week I'll do something. I'll give you. I'll send out an email. Maybe Wednesday, like early evening.
okay.
I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out what my schedule is. But Janessa, so good to see you. Who else? Ellen. Everybody's here. I can never see everybody. Let's see. So if I forget you, let's see. There we go. I don't think my mom was on today. Usually she should. Jane's in Connecticut. So see, we've got people from all over. So I love this. We can bring everybody together.
Thank you,
Does this-
Karen.
Bye,
Does
Karen.
this- Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good to see you. Thank you. We'll see you soon.